Hey friends, Andy Kennedy here with Inner Self Light Works YouTube, and we're doing a new series that we just started talking about today. And so hello to my friends on Instagram and hello to my friends on Facebook. I will actually probably cut those feeds off a little bit short just so that I can focus on the YouTube channel. So if you don't know our YouTube, just go to Andy Kennedy Inner Self Light Works on YouTube, and you will see that. So today and this series is a new series, and it's called All I Learned From ... And the All I Learned From is about it's each episode will be about the influencers, the thought leaders that I have had in my life who have all affected the way that I teach and what I teach and the way I live my life. So this first one I'm really excited about because I really do feel like this is one of the foundations for mind control, for developing a positive mindset. And it's the Jose Silva's mind control method of mental dynamics. So again, I'm going to go ahead and just chop off the two feeds and direct you guys over to YouTube if you want to continue to watch the rest either live or watch with us later on. So I'll end those series on YouTube and on Instagram. So we're going to end Instagram and then we're going to finish the Facebook one. So we'll see you guys there. So now we can just straight up focus on this feed here on YouTube, right? So focusing on the Silva mind control method of mental dynamics. And I'm really excited about this one today because I actually got to study with Burt Goldman in 2011, and his course, Quantum Jumping, was really profound for me. It was one of those courses that totally changed the trajectory of my life. And so in that, I'm really excited about unpacking this a little bit with you guys today. So in my notes here, I've pulled out the principles section. So the first section of this book is principles. And beyond that, there are 5 chapters within that first section or first part. And then beyond that, there are 6 more parts. And so I'll touch on those at the end. But in this first one, first of all, this book was written in 1988. And I feel like whenever I read a book that's older like that, whether it was, just written a decade ago, 2 decades ago, or in this case, multiple decades ago, even in the prior century, right? So I feel that there are interwoven systems and methods and modalities are interwoven into some of the other teachers that I've studied under. So I'll talk about that in a little bit as well. But it starts with the brain states and, what going to level means. So we know that the brain states are beta, alpha, theta, and delta, right? And that beta is our awake state, is alert. It's where we're triggered. It's you're listening to this video right now, and that video is operating, your brain is operating in that beta state. Alpha is our relaxed, meditative, restful, that beautiful state of just sort of subconscious learning, right? And in that subconscious learning state, we can, it's the easiest state for us to reprogram the mind in, right? And so that's the state that we are looking to control in this mind control method of mental dynamics. So, between, and then obviously delta, theta and delta get sleepier and sleepier, and delta is our deep unconscious sleep, right? So when things happen in delta, or things are named delta, we wonder what that means, right? We're all asleep maybe. So I won't even go further into that. You can read into that as you want to. So love or above is kind of his first hint at changing your state. And what I took away from this chapter years and years and years ago, because like I said, I first got introduced to Burt Goldman over 10 years ago. And I definitely didn't read this book before then, but I probably read this book right around that time. So I've had this book on my shelf for about 10 years, and I go back to it frequently. It is one of those books that really, like I said, helped to form the way that I teach, what I teach, what do I incorporate into my classes? What do I incorporate into my coaching? And the awareness of the brain states, for sure, is important, because we want to calm the brain down, distill it even from that busy beta state, and bring it into the relaxed, restful, meditative state so that we can reprogram it, right? Because we're all full of faulty programming that we've picked up either from our parents or our siblings or society in general. And so from that point of view, we, are clouded, right? One of my teachers says we have crust on our brain. So we have this layer of crust of all of these limiting beliefs, and you can't break through that layer in the beta state. You have to do that in your alpha state for sure. You can't do that in your delta state either when you're asleep, as much as we would like to learn by osmosis. We really can't. We have to do it in that alpha state. We have to reprogram the brain. So we have to get into that alpha state. So how do we get into the alpha state? The next section that he talks about, and what I really have taken away, is love or above. And he says, getting into that love state, right? Or shifting, I think he says, to love, switching your viewpoint is what he says, to love, right? And for me, the line that triggers me, that reminds me to get into that state, is love or above. So if it's not love that I'm feeling, or above, right, agape, something that we talk about in Manifesting with Synchronicity, if it's not love or above, it's a kind of a waste of time, right? And if you can change your viewpoint of anything to love, then you can change your state, right? You can reprogram. You can come into this state of balance with love. So just realizing that was totally blocked by my little phone holder. Okay. Teamwork makes the dream work. So prior to Burt Goldman and these mental dynamics, mind control, I had studied under, learned from, I should say, Wayne Dyer. I never took a workshop with Wayne Dyer, although I wish I had. Bless his heart. And Summer McStravick. I did take a workshop with Summer McStravick, and it was amazing. And she is one of the original keepers of the Hay House Library Archive. So she's got a lot of things in her brain, and love or above is her phrase for sure. Tony Robbins, for instance, Dan Millman, Burt, my hero, James Redfield, right? So all of these thought leaders of our time, Eckhart Tolle even, right? They all talk about love or above. Deepak Chopra, right? Getting into that high vibrational state. And when you're in alpha, it's really easy to get into that high vibrational state because you're not connected to this third dimension. You're not connected to, anything emotional that might trigger you. Really, you're just relaxed, you're restful, you're meditative. And it's, like I said, the easiest state for programming. So programming love or above, changing your viewpoint. The next chapter talks about the 5 rules of happiness. And I love this so much because really it sums it all up into these 5 statements. If you like a thing, enjoy it. Well, that's pretty easy, right? If you like it, if you get pleasure out of it, whether for me that's gardening or hiking, enjoy it. Take pleasure in it. Don't guilt yourself for doing it, for taking time out of your day, for not working, for not being with your family, for, whatever that is. Like, it's filling yourself up, right? Even if it's taking a bath or watching movies or writing, journaling, if you love it, enjoy it. Rule number 1. Rule number 2, And again, these are the rules for happiness. So of course, if it makes you happy, let it make you happy. Number 2, if you don't like a thing, avoid it. Okay. Don't want to be around people who are negative? Avoid that. Don't like your job? Change jobs. Well, hold on. That's number 3. Change it. Back to avoid it. I mean, we can really steer our lives in the directions of how we want to steer our lives, right? Into that state of love, into that manifesting, positive, creation, exciting, passionate life that we want to live, right? So if you don't like a thing, avoid it. If you don't like something and you can't avoid it, change it. So if you don't like your job, but you can't really avoid it because you got to go to work, change it. So many of my friends right now are having that sort of midlife reevaluation. Do I really like what I'm doing? Do I like where I live? Am I deriving purpose from it? And if the answer is no, then it's time to make some changes. That's the 3rd rule of happiness. The 4th, if you don't like it and you can't avoid it and you can't change it, accept it. Okay, so basically that's the same as number 3, but with more empowerment, right? So if I can't avoid it and I can't change it, accept it. Okay, so how do you accept something that you really don't love? Feels kind of hard to do that, right? Accept it. Oh, drudgery. Well, the rule number 5 is you accept something by changing your viewpoint of it. So this goes back to number 1, change your viewpoint to love. Okay, so if I can change my viewpoint of something that I don't like, can't avoid, can't change, or accept, that might take a lot of work is to change. That might feel like, yogi level mind control. But honestly, it is. And if you can change your viewpoint of something, that will change your life. So those are the 5 rules of happiness. Then he goes into the 7 mighty principles, and I'm only going to read them because we're already at 12 minutes and probably should wrap this up for you because I know your life is busy. The 7 mighty principles are: we are all aspects of the totality of creation, right? We're all connected to source. We're all creations of source, of the universe, of God, right? So how does that affect your mental dynamics, right? If you can look at everything from that state of we're all aspects of the same thing. So we're all connected. We're all one. Number 2, as above, so below. That one is pretty obvious, right? The roots of a tree are the manifestation, the same, as above, so below, of the whole totality of the tree, okay? So the same as in your life, right? As above, so below. So how does that affect your daily thinking? How does that affect your manifestation, abilities to manifest, your attraction for abundance, your overall, manifestation of your life, right? As above, so below. For me, that means walk the talk. It means, if I don't like something, it's the mirror for me. It means, if I'm not happy on the inside or the outside, then it affects the other, right? So as above, so below. Number 3, all things are in constant and never-ending motion. So a change in vibration causes a change in the manifestation. So all things are in motion all the time, always changing, always in movement, always manifesting. Life is always unfolding. You're always generating new cells. So things are in constant and never-ending motion. Number 4, all things are dual. So they all have an opposite. So again, how does that affect your mindset, your mental dynamics, right? All things have an opposite. Okay. I won't even unpack that one because that one's pretty powerful. Number 5, all things have tides, ebb and flow, right? So your business, your relationships, your life, your seasons, all things have ebb and flow. So you can count on that too. Number 6, every cause has an effect. Number 7, all things have a male and female aspect. And then the fifth part of this chapter, or this fifth chapter of this part, I should say, is the golden image visualization. Google that. Google Jose Silva and the golden image technique, because that one is a very powerful visualization technique. And maybe we'll unpack that one in another video to come. The remaining parts are processes, programming, empowerment, relationships, work, and change. So if you need a new outlook on life, pick up this really small pocketbook-sized Jose Silva's method of mind control of mental dynamics, and get started on shifting the way your mind looks at your reality. So thanks for watching today. Thanks for finding us on Instagram and Facebook and popping over to our YouTube channel. We'll also make this into a podcast as well. Big thanks to my partner in crime, Mary, from all the way on the other side of the world, who helps me make all things digital. And I couldn't do this without you. So as always, thank you, Mary. And thank you to Jose Silva and Burt Goldman. Thank you to Burt Goldman, for one. I mean, he is the modern American guru for leading me back to Jose Silva and the Silva method. So thanks for watching us on all of our channels. If you like what you see or hear, please share it with somebody. Please post it to your wall, or please comment below. We love your comments. Please let us know what you know about and think about the Silva method of mind control. All right. Thanks for watching, guys. Much love to you.